Welcome to another episode of Stories from the Edge of Life. We have again a very special guest all the way from India, Mr. Vanraj Shastri. Welcome to our channel.
Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Would you mind introducing yourself to our audience, please?
Of course. My name is Vanraj Shastri. I'm a Sarangi player and a vocalist, and that's a beautiful instrument that you can see just next to me. We'll talk about it in the further session.
Thank you very much. And I'm Parag Bharadwaj. I am a hospice and palliative medicine physician based in the US. What a very humble introduction, sir. Um, and I think by the end of the interview, the audience will realize why I say that. So tell us about yourself, a little bit about your background and how you got interested in music.
Absolutely. So I was born and being raised in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I am the fourth generation into music of India. My father is a vocalist, he is a teacher, he's a performer. So I was really inspired by him. Even my grandfather was, there's a specific term used in India, bhajanik, who sings the bhajan. And there was one tradition in India. Still, it doesn't exist, but like when there was no internet, no cell phone, nothing was there. And a group of people used to walk in the morning, in the very early morning, and they used to sing some bhajans, some devotional songs, which are very inspiring. And that is called Prabhatya. Prabhatya is the word, and it is sung especially in the very early morning, like in 5 before the sunrise, maybe. So yeah, I belong to the folk tradition of Indian music, and especially the regional music of Gujarat and Ahmedabad. So my father introduced me to different genres of music as well: classical music, folk music, and also different branches of Indian music like semi-classical music. So I started my musical journey with learning North Indian classical vocal. As many of you must be knowing, there are two major styles of music in India. One is North Indian music, which is also called Hindustani music, and another is Carnatic music, South Indian style. So I started my journey at the age of 9, and with classical vocal and tabla, which I learned at the institution called Saptak School of Music in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. But I was, it was I was in school, and I was not very serious about music to pursue for the whole life. So I used to bunk sometimes a music class also and play volleyball or cricket. But the the moment I heard the beautiful instrument Sarangi, I was like, that was the transforming for me. In the very first impression, I was so deeply attached. I was so deeply touched by the sound of this instrument. I couldn't resist to learn it, and surprisingly, that too on TV and on television. When I was watching a movie, and I suddenly heard this beautiful sound coming in the background score, and I was wondering, what is this beautiful sound, and like still having the goosebumps. And I thought, like, I must, I should, I must learn this instrument. Like, that the sound of it resonated within me. That's what I could put it. And then I was already, introduced to vocal music and tabla and madhap. My father was like, why do you want to start another skill of music? First you should acquire reach at a certain level in these two forms of music. And I said, like, of course I like singing tabla, but like this is something, something else which I cannot describe in words. Then yeah, my father asked one of the local teacher to just give me introduction session and see how it goes. So yeah, that's how I took up Sarangi, and then teacher came to my house and we did couple of sessions, and yes, the journey is still going on.
Outstanding. How old were you then when you first
Uh,
started?
I think so I'm 27 right now, and I have to count. I'm not very good at that. I think in
Just an approximate.
yeah, I think in sixth, seventh standard. Yeah.
It's amazing to have uh, instrument to have such an impact at that
Yeah,
age,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and it just basically determined the journey of your life. So
yeah, absolutely.
tell us a little bit about the sarangi. It looks like a very unique, and
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing, it looks pretty complex.
But it's not that much. It might be, but yeah, would you want me to show the
Oh,
instrument?
sure, that'll be
Yeah.
great.
So as you can see in the frame, beautifully crafted. Surprisingly, it's made from just one single piece of wood, mainly tun wood. And one more interesting thing about Sarangi that Sarangi comes from the folk tradition of India, and there are 13 to 14 different kinds of Sarangi. Yeah, Gujarati Sarangi is different, Rajasthani folk Sarangi is different, Nepali Sarangi is different, and there is one more belief that Sarangi, all the Sarangi is played with the bow, so all the bow instruments, uh, all the bow instruments belong to the Middle Eastern part of the world, Turkish. So, I could say the different forms of sarangi can be found in different, like similar instruments. If you go to Greece, there is beautiful instrument lira, which is slightly smaller in the size, but it has, certain similar techniques. So sarangi is mainly played from there are two, three different techniques from the skin, purely on the skin, cuticles. Second is from the nails, only on the nails. The third one is the edge of skin, a little bit of nail, which I follow, which I got to learn from my mentor. And again, coming back to the instrument, first of all, it's a fretless, it's a blind instrument. And about sarangi, the most interesting thing is that sarangi is the closest instrument to human voice. All the different nuances can be reproduced from sarangi, and so this is the fretboard, fretless instrument. It has main three strings, yeah, and tuned from this peg, 1, 2, 3, and there's one more extra. And these strings are made from, originally it was made from the intestine of a goat, and it's called tat. But now over the period of time, the changes, so many changes uh, came in the instrument. And now I also use the harp instrument, western classical instrument. I can The strings of harp instruments can also be used in the same. I also use the cello string for the lower octave. And there are 30 to 35 sympathetic steel strings which can be tuned as per the raga. Right now I have tuned it to Rag Bhim Palasi, with which is an evening rag. And yeah, so these are the uh, different pegs to tune the sympathetic strings. And this is the scheme. This is the hollow part. This is the sound box. And unfortunately, I won't be able to show the full sarangi, but yeah, it's played with the bow. I'll just play a little glimpse right now, and then the extended version can be seen in the full video.
That's great. not getting your audio actually.
Not getting the audio?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
maybe.
think
Yeah, I
I
think
got
the
the initial
Zoom.
part, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I think Zoom is cutting the, might be
it might be
the
the pitch.
frequencies. Yeah,
Yeah, the
exactly.
frequency. You're
But
right.
yeah, still it's cutting very little, very slow.
I mean, we can hear it when you start off, but
Oh,
we're
okay,
not able
okay.
to hear it after that. But it sounds
Fully.
great. I mean, just a
Yeah,
little bit I could hear is amazing, and I didn't realize there were so many strings. And I mean, I can just imagine the permutations and the combinations that you can come up with.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah. So in that way, just slightly uh,
So yeah,
difficult than other instruments, I could say. I could put it that
I'm a bit. I apologize. We were not able to
way.
hear it, but thanks for contributing a performance, and the audience can definitely hear it there. And
Yes, yes,
also, I follow you on Instagram. You have some amazing videos because not only are you very talented with playing the sarangi, you also sing very well. So
thank
that's
you. Thank you. I'm glad.
yeah, and I think that's really important because you said that this is the closest instrument to the human voice. So when you sing and when you're a singer, you can
Yeah,
actually, make that determination even a lot better.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, actually, that as uh, generally Sarangi to learn Sarangi instrument, it requires longer period of time to master than like for example harmonium or any other instruments. So the training of vocal music which I took initially and also the training of tabla that really helped me to get a grip on this instrument little faster. And also, as I also, after my schooling, I also did my bachelor's and master's degree in classical vocal. So my journey with both the forms of music was going equally. And yeah, it's vice versa. Both are, both are different wheels of cycle that takes me in the journey.
Sorry, it was my
No
fault.
problem. Sorry.
I was on mute. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just very excited to be talking to you.
Yeah.
Forgot to unmute myself. One of the things I've noticed is that um, there's a close association between music and mathematics.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? Were you great at math when you were a student, or do you notice patterns when you play?
I just proved myself that I was not, very good at maths just a couple of questions back. But yeah, so it is, the use of maths, it's there in the Indian music. But the main perspective and the main, thing about Indian classical music is that it it is very spontaneous. And there are different ways, different approaches how of different instruments, because as I mentioned earlier that sarangi is the closest to vocal music. So vocal music is doesn't have that much mathematics, but if you're playing an instrument like sitar or sarod, where you can play more of percussive style, like sarang is more of long sustained notes, and also there is the different genres of it. But I'm broadly speaking that for sarangi mathematics to understand like da din din da din din da da din din. If I'm supposed to play a double uh, a fast tan, ni da ga ma ba ni da ni da ba ma ba ma ni da ni da ga ma ba za ra cha re. So then I have to have certain amount of grip on maths. But yeah, so it's not very much use of mathematics in particularly for sarangi music, because it is more of vocal music. But improvisation is must, and to play some I would say, some fixed compositions or fixed एक दो तीन चार पाँच एक दो तीन चार पाँच एक दो तीन चार पाँच. So you must be knowing we have this concept of tihai, where we, tihai is basically you repeat a single phrase three times. So this is a very simple and very common one, two, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. This is a very common tihai. So there are many, this kind of phrases where mathematics is, a part of it. So yeah, it is connected. Like you have to just, uh, balance both the things.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm getting the sense that especially with string instruments, we use a bow, probably, like you said, it's a little bit more fluid.
Yeah, because of the
There's a
bow.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and
So
sitar has the stroke with the right hand, sarod has the, so they could play more with, staccato style in music.
correct,
Uh, I could say.
correct. Great, great. So, but I still think you're very humble, and you probably are a lot better than math than you think you are.
Thank you, thank you.
The Now tell us, like, you have been performing all over the world, and I
Mhm.
believe recently you performed at a very big venue, in India,
Yeah,
and
India, yeah,
so you've met a lot of people, you've met with a lot of musicians,
yeah.
you've traveled a lot. What is the what makes music so unique when it
Hmm.
comes to,
Yeah,
the element of sound and humans?
yeah. Beautiful question. So I'm I've been performing since my childhood with my father, with different musicians of my town, and also in various places of India and abroad. The best thing about music, as it's a universal language, I like that I it allows me to, you know, introduce my music to different people. And I'm surprised that the music has such a, healing power, which binds the, which doesn't have any uh, boundaries, and that connects, because like when I play sarangi, I express emotions, my thoughts, and I could literally see that people are also, getting the same feel of music. So the impact of music, it's incredible, that you know that inspires people, that inspire people, and as a musician, I enjoy the most is that I, I get to know different people, that, and also different culture, different music style, and it's an amazing exploration, I could say. And I just love my job very much.
Great. So thank you for sharing your perspectives. Now,
Yeah.
uh, I know this is considered a classical instrument. You
Hmm.
perform, in very well-known venues, not only in India, abroad as well.
Hmm.
But there's another element to you. I believe you perform in your songs. You perform for like Bollywood songs as well,
Oh yes, yes, yes.
right? So performing in front of an audience versus performing in a studio, how
Hmm.
different do you feel? Because when you're in front of an audience, you get to sort of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
watch the expressions of the people who are listening to the
Absolutely,
music. You get the
absolutely.
feedback, in real time.
Hmm.
However, in a studio, I don't know how many. Maybe you're by yourself, or maybe just a few other people. Uh,
Hmm.
is it a very different experience, or I don't know, maybe you just close your eyes and you just get into this zone and it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. So before answering that, one more interesting thing about Sarangi I would like to share with all of you that, you know, traditionally, Sarangi, this classical Sarangi was considered just an accompanying instrument. It was, used for accompaniment in Drupad Dama style, and then Khayal Gaiki of Indian music. But then over the period of time, some of the greatest maestros have contributed to the instrument, and now it is also established as a solo instrument, as sitar or tabla. So yeah, coming back to the question that we had the pandemic taught us a lot of things, and regarding the recording sessions that I have done with different film composers, musicians in mainly in India. So the experience is really amazing because it's challenging in a way, because when I'm supposed to express my own thoughts and my own emotions, then I have the freedom, right? But when I'm supposed to play something which is already imagined by the other musician or the producer or the composer, to bring that same element or that same emotion, and that too with fingers or without uttering a word, with the melody, with the notes of it. So I always find it very interesting, very challenging, because that allows me to broaden my horizons. So I really enjoy. I have worked with Sachin, the very famous film composers of Bollywood, Sachin Jigar, Salim Suleiman, and I have a very good friend in the UK with whom I had the opportunity to work in a track which was sung by Shankar Mahadevan ji. It's called Sick, which is available on YouTube. I also had the great honor to play an opening concert for Brian Adams with my friend Rushil and Abi Sampas. So yeah, so performing in an audience of 20, 30,000 in a stadium, that's it's really difficult to describe in a sentence, but I could say that the way people enjoy the music, the way they accept different kind of music, it's really uplifting for me. And I after every performance, I feel that my responsibility has become, I'm even more uh, has been increased every time I perform after the concert. And yeah, that every performance, like it boosts me that I have to uh, work even more harder, and I have to like you know learn. It's a because it's a lifelong journey, music. Like it's not like after finishing or something, you are it's considered like you are the this categorized artist. So it's a lifelong journey, and I enjoy both the performing field as well, and also just sitting in a very in the recording studio with it's just me, the composer, director, the sound engineer. I don't know whatever I play how it's going to be used in the film or maybe in the track. So sometimes uh, if I play some random things while checking the sound or while miking, and surprisingly, they that is also used in the film in a differently. So the there's a wide range of scope to explore, both in the production industry and also in the performing you know uh, scene. There is no end, so I equally enjoy both of the streams.
Wow. It's just I'm just baffled, and I'm learning a lot from you. I will tell you, being a
Hmm.
doctor, we are taught to be very observant and you mentioned your
Yeah.
fingers and how you have to use your nail. You were definitely born with the hands of an artist.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for the compliment. So
So,
kind.
I mean, I'm not always right, but
Mm.
I always like to guess. Sometimes you
Yeah,
look at patients, you look, then you say, "Hey, I think this
yeah.
is your profession," and it's interesting to, you know,
Mm.
try to identify that. So yeah, definitely, it shows in you. So thanks a lot for your time. It's been an amazing conversation, and I would encourage our audience to um, check you on the internet. You are on YouTube and you're on other platforms. We'll be happy to share those in the description of this video. And thank you so much for bringing up your performance to our audience, because it's for the patients, their families, the
Yeah.
clinicians, and also music is therapeutic for everybody. So I'm sure the audience will enjoy it and find it very therapeutic.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We hope to have you back again.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.